My name is Chris McCarthy, and I'm a professor in the Department of Educational Psychology here at UT. And I've pretty much studied stress the whole time that I've been at UT. Most recently, I've started to focus a lot on like teachers and counselors and people who are encountering demands in their workplace and trying to understand what predicts people who are at risk for stress in those workplaces. Most people expect stress almost. That's kind of the way it's supposed to be. And I think particularly in the culture in the United States, it's like you almost get the message that if you're not stressed out or not busy, there's something wrong with you. You're not doing enough, or you're not taking on enough responsibilities. I think a lot of times people will take on demands based on kind of what they think they're asked to do, or because they want to be perceived as superior, or they don't want to let their supervisors down, or they don't want to let themselves down, and they're not really honest about what they're capable of getting done in a given amount of time. On average, people will change careers several times. Not just change jobs within a career, but move from different fields. Throughout most of our history, people didn't have all these choices about their jobs. It was really kind of industrial societies that started to organize labor a little bit differently, because up until then, you did what your family did, you did what your community did, and very seldom did people have a choice about careers. They pretty much did what they were expected to do. They filled whatever role that their family or people of their background did. So the fact that we have all these different jobs, tens of thousands of jobs really, that anybody can potentially fill or move through, I think creates a lot of stress for people too, because people coming out of high school and college feel overwhelmed by how do I get started, how do I make choices about this? And no matter what you choose, you're always kind of wondering, did I make the right choice? There were 99 other ones I could have chosen. So I think that adds to people's stress. A lot of people don't know how to recognize symptoms of stress. And so there's like physiological symptoms, which is, feeling nervous, feeling tense, changes in your appetite, bad habits like smoking, not exercising, things like that. But there's also psychological symptoms that go along with that. It doesn't matter what's objectively out there. If you perceive there to be a threat, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. You're gonna see it that way psychologically, and if you see it that way psychologically, your body's gonna react. That's pretty hardwired into us, is if we think there's a threat to our well-being, we're gonna react the same way people reacted thousands of years ago when they were being chased by tigers and bears and things like that. And it, ramps up our heart rate and our metabolism and our blood pressure to get us ready to fight off a challenge. But you can't do that in the workplace. You can't fight off your boss or your coworkers. So that's where the stress becomes harmful, and that's where it's really important to kind of recalibrate your own thinking. Communication is a big part of it. So like the more people have information about what's going on in a company and organization, I think it helps them have a better sense of control over where things are. Even if the news isn't always positive, I think the tendency to kind of hide information or try and pretend that things are better than they are kind of has an unintended effect where people feel shut out, or they don't know what's going on, and so they don't feel as in control of their environment, which adds to stress. If everybody is at work worried about layoffs or downsizing, and that's who you spend most of your time with, that's going to probably add to your stress level and probably isn't going to help you out in the long run. But if you have other people who kind of help you keep perspective and help you see other parts of your life that are fulfilling and rewarding, that's probably more helpful. Also, people who can kind of anticipate demands down the road is one of the things that we have found to be very helpful in coping with stress. So some people seem to be better at anticipating where they're going to be in a few months or a few weeks or a few days, or anticipating that things are not well with their coworkers or things are not well in other parts of their life. We've called that scanning, the ability to kind of look ahead and see your environment and kind of know where the trends are. Because the other reaction that people have is kind of the ostrich putting its head in the sand and just kind of sticking with what they're doing and just hoping things are going to work out for the best until something dramatic happens, and that's often not a good strategy in the long run.